Welcome to the Vegologie podcast with your host, Jenny
and Matt Morris.
This is episode 3, where we'll be talking about some plant-based starter tips.
If you're just getting started and you're a little not sure of where to begin, hopefully these tips will be very helpful to you.
Yep. And also, we want to kind of point out, full disclosure, our little kitty, Ani.
If you hear some purring, that's Ani. She still does not have her voice back. She's a little under the weather still, but she is an extremely happy little camper sitting here with us.
And purring away.
So you may hear some occasional purring.
Yeah. So if you hear that little hum, that's probably her. So we apologize, but not really.
No.
So we thought we'd start out, before we get into the good stuff, our main topic. We just going to start off with a segment that we like to call What We Ate This Week. So just to kind of give you an idea of what we eat on a weekly basis to maybe hopefully give you some inspiration. So Matt,
yes.
What did you eat this week that you loved?
I had a very good week of eating, actually. I had quite a few lentil tacos made by my lovely wife, who batch cooked some lentils for me. So the days I work, I take lentil tacos, and I also find my way to my local Harris Teeter, which is a grocery store where we live, and they make a wonderful sushi there. So I have the veggie roll a lot, and it's kind of become a joke around work, because when I get back from work and people ask me where I went, I say Harris Teeter, and knowing it's a grocery store, they usually inquire, and I always seem to say sushi because I get in this weird pattern because it is really good there.
Yeah, it's strange to find a really good sushi in a commercial grocery store, but he's really found it. I haven't tried it yet.
They make it fresh there, and they're super nice. We seem to know each other now because I go there a lot, and it's a little awkward that we don't know each other's names, so I think they just say thank you, and I say thank you, and we go about our day.
Cool beans. Some other things I made. We had some cabbage soup. We are obsessed with cabbage soup. I like cabbage anything. So
yeah, the soup's banging.
Yes, it's just like a cabbage vegetable soup. We put carrots and celery and cauliflower. Cauliflower in this soup is great. Yep. It's kind of tomato-based. And the cauliflower, just as it cooks, it soaks up all that tomato-y broth. And it's just, when you bite into it,
it bursts with flavor. It really does.
Yeah, and we make it super spicy. Yeah. So it makes it even better. One thing, and I do when I do recipe development, it's very hard for me because Matt and I both really enjoy super spicy foods. And I know that a lot of the population doesn't, so it's hard for me to kind of rein it down a little bit. Yeah, but it's doable. But the cabbage soup is definitely something that we enjoy quite often. We love it. Also, more soup. We made some ramen this week.
Yes, homemade ramen is also one of our favorites.
Yeah, it's incredibly easy to make, and pretty much you can just do whatever you want to it. I mean, you have your base broth, and then we just throw in whatever vegetables we have in the fridge.
Baby corns.
So, oh yeah, we like those little baby corns.
Love the baby corns.
And just like carrots.
And
tofu. We throw in some seaweed.
Broccoli gets in there.
Some broccoli. And I guess those were our highlights food-wise this week.
Yeah, we didn't eat out anywhere.
No, we don't eat out often. But when we do, we're definitely going to give you reviews of places that we go, just so you're aware of it. But we mostly eat at home. So this week, we really didn't eat out. Just ate lots of soup. All right. And that's good. And then the next segment, before we get into our main topic, something that we're going to do on every episode moving forward, so you know what to expect, is we're going to highlight a vegan product. So something that's out there on the market, whether it be a food item or a beauty item, a health item, anything like that. So if it's a vegan company making vegan food, then that's what we're going to highlight.
Or even possibly...
maybe not just a vegan company, but just like good vegan food.
Maybe clothing too.
Good vegan products, clothing, makeup, everything. So we just want to kind of give you a good idea of what's out there and what our favorite things are. And I think because we were just at Trader Joe's, this came to mind. We are obsessed with their chorizo.
It's one of my favorites.
So it's a take on, obviously, like a chorizo, which is a type of
pork
sausage.
Yeah, pork.
So it is banging.
It is. You cook it with some onions and peppers, and it is truly one of my favorite meals.
Yeah, it's great. Some of the ways that we love to enjoy it, over just putting it over a baked potato. and putting it over, like Matt just said, like saute some onions and peppers and
put over rice.
Chorizo, put it over rice. There's so many things. You can put it in tacos. We eat a lot of tacos, as you'll find out. So many different ways that you can make a good taco and never be bored. But yeah, so chorizo is really good. It's also nutritional wise. It's high in protein at 9 grams per serving, and also it has 4 grams of fiber. A little high on the sodium.
Yes, you might want to not go too crazy with it, but
yeah, if health restrictions require you to reduce your sodium, probably wouldn't recommend this because I forget what the sodium count was, but it was pretty high. But if you're okay then with that, then I would highly recommend getting this.
And just on a side note is, if you recall, when I had my last potluck at work, you made that and I took it in, and it was loved by everybody.
And that's right.
Usually people hear the V word, they get scared and don't try stuff, but it was all gone by the end of it.
Mm-hmm. I made a huge batch.
Yeah, it was massive. I was hoping to get some to take home, but it was all gone.
Yeah. That is our product highlight this week, and it's wonderful. So if you live by a Trader Joe's, and I hope that you do, you have to go try it. For those of you that don't, I'm so sorry. I wish that we could send you some. All right, so I guess on to our main topic,
sure.
Right? All right. So, and excuse us, we are going to have some growing pains as we go through the podcast. We are newbies at this, obviously. As we move on, we'll be more together. You'll get to know these different segments and what we're doing. And
luckily, we have a great sense of humor, so we can laugh at ourselves along the way. And
we laugh at ourselves a lot. You might think that we're drunk, but I swear to you, we're not.
Or are we?
We might be. I'm not going to say we're never going to be drunk. But
as we mentioned in a previous episode, we will be taking you out to have a drink with us at some point.
Yes. All right. So let's get on with vegan starter tips. Or plant-based starter tips. Let's be very clear. I just want to point this out. I do use the word vegan and plant-based kind of interchangeably, when really, and I think most people know this nowadays, maybe not, but vegan is really like a philosophy, and plant-based is more the diet end of it. I say vegan a lot because it is more recognizable, I think, to society. So that is why I'm using that term. Just so you know the clear difference. But just know that when I say vegan, we are talking about the diet, because Vegologie is about the plant-based lifestyle. And my use of the term vegan is really just specifically speaking towards the diet in order so everyone can relate to it. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Disclaimer action there. I like
the
that.
more you know. Little star. All right then. So our main topic. So we do have a couple tips that will make your transition a lot easier. I learned the hard way, so I can share all this with you. So basically there are 2 ways that you can go about transitioning or incorporating more plant-based foods into your diet. You can either go 100% all in, or you can kind of ease your way in. So jump in the deep end or dip your toe, whatever works for you. There is no wrong way to go about doing it. Now, as I mentioned in a previous episode, went all in.
And I'm a toe dipper.
Yes. So we are working through that. And it's okay. So, we will meet you wherever you are. So it's okay if you're just slowly making this transition, whatever works for you. Okay. Also, our second tip is know your why. Use your why as a compass for keeping your goals on track. So you need to know your why. What is your why? That is your reason for wanting to do this. So if you're a vegan, it's going to be a lot easier for you because it's about ethical reasons, right? Usually most vegans, it's black and white, okay? You know that if you eat this, what impact it's going to have on animals, on the environment, whatever your reason is for being a vegan, you know that specific impact it's going to have, and you're very passionate about it. So it's pretty much black and white. So it's a little bit easier for you. And plus, all you have to do is pretty much pick up a video, like a documentary, like Cowspiracy or Earthlings, and that'll get you right back on track real fast.
Yeah, you'll snap right back.
Another reason for doing this is for health reasons. And that's going to be a little harder. You want to get healthy, you want to feel good, but that why can be a little complicated because let's be honest. we can be way less compassionate with ourselves than other things. So vegans, if you're doing it for vegan reasons, you're doing it for a cause, for other people, for other animals, for the environment, whatever.
It's easy to put ourselves last.
Yes.
In the priority chain.
As humans, we do that. That's why if you're doing this for health reasons, we hear you. It is harder to do this and stick with it. But there are certain things that you can do to make it easier, which is what we're going to kind of speak of a little bit in more detail now.
But the good news on that is once you start feeling the benefits, it helps boost you along the way.
Yes, and you will. There will be plenty of benefits. And we will be tackling the benefits of a plant-based diet definitely in another episode. So we will talk about that a little bit more. The third point that we want to talk about are transitional foods, which we kind of talked about this a little bit in the last episode. Kind of went on a slight rant about it. But we fully support transitional foods, which tend to be less healthier than like a whole foods plant-based diet. These transitional foods that I'm talking about are your alternative meats and cheeses.
Your
processed foods.
Just prepackaged.
Yeah. Not healthy, but not as unhealthy as the real...
Correct.
I don't want to say real stuff.
It's a great transition.
Meat or dairy foods. So it can really help you along.
And some of them are actually really good.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Beyond Burger?
Yeah, the Beyond Burger is fantastic.
I didn't think that I would like it, and I honestly...
Or even the chorizo.
Vowed that I went... Even, chorizo.
Yeah.
And Beyond Meat, I think of my favorite brands, Beyond Meat, Field Roast makes some really good meat alternatives, and No Evil Foods, that's based out of Asheville, North Carolina here. They make our favorite Italian sausage.
Yes, their sausages are really, really good.
So,
but we'll be touching on them in future episodes with our product highlights.
Yeah, so just know there is no shame in eating these foods. If they help you kind of ease into, the plant-based diet, then by all means go for it. There is no shame in that. I have seen other people in different... vegan groups, unfortunately, kind of really down on these processed alternative foods. And it's a shame because not everybody can just jump fully into plant-based diet. And I will promise you that if you follow a plant-based diet long enough, you will start craving those earthy, healthy foods, those natural, whole foods. And you'll stop craving so much the alternatives as time goes on. So that is definitely a given. But this could help you just go. Don't listen to the naysayers. Just listen to us, right?
Exactly. We've been where you're at, and we're actually interested to hear about your journey with these processed foods, because there's some that we certainly like a lot, and there's some that we just don't like at all. So let us know what you think about them as you discover them.
Yep. And that's why we have the vegan product highlight too. We just want to let you know what our favorite foods are, so you can pick and choose if you want. Next is something that's helpful is veganizing your favorite meals, or even trying the vegetarian version. If you give up meat but still having trouble giving up cheese and dairy, you can definitely try the vegetarian version instead of going totally vegan with it, which is possible, and you can make a kick-ass vegan alternative, like for example lasagna.
Lasagna's a great one.
That's a good example.
What's great about these alternatives is in the beginning you're kind of picking your favorite meals and tweaking them a little bit, so you get to eat a bunch of your favorite meals while you're learning along the way.
Yep. So just when you're first starting to, ease into this, just take the favorite meals that you have right now and figure out how to veganize it or make the vegetarian version. Also, keep it simple. There's no need for elaborate recipes or exotic ingredients that you find in some cookbooks or online. Just keep it very simple to start. You don't have to go crazy.
Yeah, some of them can be overwhelming, but we like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, by all means, let us know, too. We're happy to help.
Yep. And then also another tip is just really a warning. There is such a thing as a detox hangover. So when you first give up meat and dairy, you probably won't feel too great. And the reason is because your body is detoxing. It's used to taking in that processed food and meat and dairy, and you will probably get a headache.
Probably be fatigued also.
Definitely fatigued.
Just
I know
what we've personally experienced.
Yeah, I remember it was many years ago, but I remember exactly how that felt. And it lasted about 3 days, I think, until I started feeling much better. So just to give you a warning, if you're not feeling good at first, it's probably your body just detoxing.
But we even notice that too if we go off even now the plant-based. If we do have a couple of the processed foods, when we get back into the plant-based, you can definitely tell a difference.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that kind of goes along with that and not feeling well is a lot of people, when they first start out, don't eat enough. So you actually need to eat more on a plant-based diet. You can't keep your portions small like you're used to. Like if you're trying to lose weight, for example, and you want to keep your portions small, eat less, that doesn't fly on a plant-based diet because you need to get your calories in. And it's not hard to do, but you need to eat more. And I think it's really a hard shift for some people to make. But it
just doesn't make sense at first.
Yeah. So you definitely want to pay attention to how many calories you're getting because, I think in more cases than not, the reason why people just give up on a plant-based diet, say that they felt sick on it, because they just weren't eating enough. So just be mindful of that. Also, learn to read food labels. That is very, very important. And, it takes time when you're in the store because you're looking at every label and analyzing it. But trust me, it'll get a lot easier once you get used to it. We will have a full episode on what to look for and how to read food labels. So that'll be coming up soon. Also, there is no such thing as a perfect vegan. So if you start out and you slip up, it's okay. There's no shame on that.
We've all been there.
Do not beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. Just pick up where you left off. That's it. It's okay. I know that I did that once, and many, many years ago, and I beat myself up over it so much. I was so upset. I was really down on myself. But you just can't do that. I mean, you're human.
You were really hard on yourself.
Yeah.
I remember that very well.
And I'm an emotional eater, and that's what caused it. But I totally regretted it afterwards. I beat myself up. There's no such thing as a perfect vegan, and we've all been there. So don't beat yourself up. Just start over.
We're in this journey together. We're here to help and support.
Yep. Next, we have find your vegan community. So whether it be online or offline, there are so many different vegan groups on Facebook that you can join, find a supportive community, ask questions. But more importantly, I think the thing that helped me a lot was finding an offline community in Raleigh here. When I first moved to Raleigh, I didn't know anybody. I think I was 3 years into my vegan journey, and I just felt alone because it can be very lonely because the majority of the people around me are not vegan and they don't understand, and it can be difficult. So it's much easier to be successful with this if you surround yourself with like-minded people.
And what we learned is they're out there. There's a lot of people out there looking to do the same thing. So they're looking for you and you're looking for them.
Yeah. A good place to start is to go on meetup.com. That's where I found my vegan group. And I've made some lifelong friends from it too. So that was a really good experience. So I highly recommend that you definitely find yourself a community, whether it be online or offline. Vegologie does not currently have a Facebook group, but if that's something you're interested in, let us know. If there's enough interest, we certainly will create that.
Yeah, we're here to help you and help you with this journey. So if that is something that you would benefit from, tell us.
Yep. And then lastly, the last tip that we want to point out is building your pantry. Go ahead and start swapping out your favorite non-vegan items with your favorite alternatives, vegan alternatives. And this is easy to do. It doesn't have to be done all at once because that can be quite expensive. But if you do want to if you're an all-in type person, then that's something that you want to start thinking about doing. Right?
Definitely. And if you're not an all-in person, every time you make your grocery store run, grab a couple items.
Yep.
And before you know it, you will have a full pantry, and you won't necessarily get that financial burden of the all at once.
Yep. And to kind of help you with this, we actually have a little checklist for you of our favorite swaps. So normal, maybe condiments that you have in your fridge, our favorite vegan friendly versions of them. So we do have that available for you as a download. So just in the show notes, there'll be a link where you can click on and get that
that list. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So those are our tips. Very important, no doubt. All right, so we're going to end the podcast with something that we're excited about.
And we're very excited about this coming week.
Yes.
Because we are going traveling, which you've learned that's what we love to do.
Yeah.
And we are going with a couple of friends to Richmond, Virginia, which apparently is a hotbed of vegan cuisine.
Yes.
So we're very excited to try some restaurants.
Yes.
And see what's happening in Richmond and just have some good times with some good friends and some good food.
Yeah. So by the time you're listening to this,
our bellies will already be full.
Yes, we'll already be our Richmond trip will already be passed, and we will definitely fill you in on all the goodies that we ate.
And hopefully we can get some shout outs to some good restaurants.
Yeah, I'm excited. The only one that I really know of is the Guar Bar.
Guar Bar can't be bad. There's no way the Guar Bar can be bad.
It can't be. So I think I know that there's a ton of great places, but that's one place that's like high on my list just because it's the Guar Bar.
It's the Guar Bar. I saw Guar when I was like 21.
Didn't you get kicked in the head or somebody we know?
No, that was that was the Marilyn Manson concert.
Oh.
Shout out to Stevie Wags, who took a boot in the back of the head from Marilyn Manson.
That's right. So that's our Richmond trip coming up. So we're excited about that. And I think we're both really excited about the Oscars.
Yes, we like our award shows.
We are movie buffs, like major movie buffs, which we didn't mention in our get to know us.
So we watched all the quality movies for this year's Oscars, so we are up to date and we are educated.
Yes.
So we can either cheer or jeer their selections.
Yep. So that's something else that we're super excited about. And I guess lastly, I'm just super happy that we're getting closer to spring.
Yeah, it's been awful here for the past week. It's just been cold and rainy.
Yeah.
And just bone chilling.
And trust me, I know that we are compared to some of the other rest of the country.
Yes. Sorry, Chicago.
Okay.
We're not whining too bad.
Yeah, sorry. I know we have no biz saying this, but for us, it's been cold. And I was listening. I was in the living room and I heard birds chirping out the window, and the spring birds chirping, like it really
the
seemed
morning
like
birds.
Spring. Yes, it was beautiful.
They were being tricked by a little warm weather, and then that cold came and got them.
I know. But yeah, so just putting some positive vibes out there into the universe. Spring, spring, spring. Yeah, so that's it. So we're going to give you the Vegan Swaps checklist. Just go ahead to the show notes on www.vegologiepodcast.com, and the link will be in there for that. And then also, once you go through that checklist, post something that you've replaced.
Swapped out.
Yeah, we want to see
swap something
it.
and post it.
We want to see it and cheer you on with it. So go on Instagram, and if you use the hashtag, or Facebook, or Twitter, whichever you want, and use the hashtag Vegologie Podcast and add that to your picture. We want to see. And yeah,
we want to see it. And
we want to cheer you on and give you maybe even some recommendations on what you can do with those certain products.
Or maybe you'll teach us something.
Yeah, exactly. We're in this together.
Yep.
Never forget that. All right. Well, I guess that's it.
That is it.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate your time. And
peace and love.